Danny Matthews, very good morning to you. We have got some superstars in the studio. That's a bit of a clinky joke, though, really. We've got with us Danny, Mark and Glenn from The Scripts.
Hey, how are you?
Good morning, lads.
We're very, very good this morning. You know, it's not rock o'clock yet, but hey, we're up and we're ready to talk to you, Danny. Anything for you.
It's pretty early, though, isn't it? I mean, do you normally get up like before 8 o'clock?
No, we try not to. We're normally going to bed around that hour anyway, so you know how it goes.
Every single rock star that I've interviewed has said that. I interviewed PJ Proby, I don't know if you heard of him, from this big 60s rock star, and he says he goes to bed at 8 o'clock. He goes to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning. That is rock and roll. Now, lads, we've got the great fourth album about to be released, and you did it all. You did all the big announcement on Google Chat, was this right?
Yeah, we did it on Google Chat actually. We released Google Plus. We did a worldwide kind of launch. It's obviously the power of the internet these days that you know, you can sit in a room here in London and then, you know, broadcast around the world and have very interactive, you know, fans asking questions, and it was really, really cool to obviously embrace technology that way and be able to launch that way too. So it was great.
Are you very techie, you lads? Then is Mark and Glenn?
I wouldn't be that techie. When it comes to studio, yeah, I mean, I know my way around a computer, but the lads would be, you know, way more up on the computers than I would.
Has any of that been rubbed off from Will I Am? Is it all the techie stuff? Is it? Because he was always on his Twitter feed, wasn't he?
He's always
getting told off.
You can't get him off it. You know, I think he was getting a bad rap actually on the show for having been on Twitter all the time. But that's part of the show, was to embrace social media. So he was, you know, tweeting things about the acts while he was on at the same time. So
exactly,
you know,
exactly. Now listen, lads. 5 years on, could you ever imagine that growing up in Dublin that you'd be doing a Google Chat around the world to announce your fourth album?
It's so funny, isn't it, that this is Glenn.
Hi, Glenn.
How are you doing? Good morning to you. You'd never actually think that type of thing. I was only thinking this yesterday, you know, when we're doing certain things throughout the day, you often do have that moment of pinching yourself and you say, jeepers, you know, even when we started off as a band, our goal was to get played in local radio, and here we are now, like 7-8 years later, and we're doing the tours that we're doing, the gigs we're doing, and we just had another song number one on iTunes there.
Wow.
And people, the appetite for the band and just for the music is just growing strong and growing stronger all the time. So it really is a blessing, and you really, you know, we're so busy sometimes you get caught up in the touring side of it, and you forget to just stop and actually, you know, get a rose out and smell it, you know what I'm saying? So I had one of those moments the other day when I was like, my God, this is amazing, you know, it really is.
Yeah, and never forget your local radio stations. You'll have to thank the lads for. Yeah, I suppose the local one in Ireland played your first song. Was that the first one that, you know?
That's right. It was Ray Foley, 2FM in Dublin. I remember it. Yeah,
I'm impressed. You know his name. Brilliant.
Yeah, I actually do. And Joe Wiley was the first one to play it over here.
We don't mention her. She's on the national side.
And we were. And I was
Danny Matthews was the first to play it in Lancaster.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and on both occasions we were in this very small vehicle, and these days we're in a bigger vehicle when we hear our songs. So it's a good progression.
And it doesn't smell like roses.
No, but like you were saying, the statistics are just crazy when you look at them. I don't know whether you've had time to look at the official press release. You probably don't read it yourselves. 20 million records worldwide, 5 platinum American singles, 4.6 million albums around the world, and 2.5 million in Britain, of course. World airplay records. It's just amazing, isn't it, the statistics?
Honestly, when you read it out like that, it sounds frightening, you know, that we've been involved in it. But, you know, all I know is that we've been working really, really hard over the past 5-6 years to, you know, try and write the best music, try and put on the best shows. And then when you look back at it, you look at the wake that you've created behind you. Yeah, it's been truly amazing. Really has.
Now, when you was on The Voice, you were always you're always very nice about people that didn't quite get through, and you always understood the stories of how hard it is to break into the business. Did you, as a band, did you really have to serve your apprenticeship, like gigging around Dublin and doing it for years?
Yeah.
So, have you got any stories? You were all in the back of a van, like getting paid 25 quid a gig and stuff.
Well, we're still kind of in the back of a van getting paid peanuts. No, yeah, we all had, you know, we're in different bands and stuff growing up. There's loads of stories. Obviously Glenn, I think, would be the most road ridden out of all of us, let's say, so to speak.
He might have he is actually probably have a point. I mean, I played so many weddings that if it was me on wedding tomorrow, I'd probably cancel it, to be honest with you. No joke. I mean, it was literally, I remember doing gigs where I played a place one night, I won't even name the pub, and it came to my mind straight away, but I walked outside and they were trying to steal the speakers out of the back of my car. I'm serious. And my first car was a Ford Fiesta, and it was so like, first car, it was second hand, it had cracks underneath the bottom of it, and I had to use Isopon to seal the cracks where the water was getting in. But I had me drums in the back, and these guys were trying to take drums and speakers out of the back of the car, and I played in some of the worst places where, you know, I saw a guy actually getting stabbed in the middle of a gig, you know, and we just had to keep playing, you know. What do you do?
And the band played on.
Yeah.
They started playing Blood in the Dance Floor. I don't know why.
I swear to God.
After we robbed all the gear out of his car, though, we just started a band.
Now, we didn't see you last year. You were due to the Blackpool Lights just down the road last year, and unfortunately you couldn't do that. So we're really waiting for the next time we can see you live. When's the tour which is going to go alongside the album then? When does that all kick off? Because you only just really kind of finished last year, World Tour.
Yeah, we just got off tour. We did an extensive world tour with the last album, number 3. And then we went on tour with One Republic over in the States. So we're, you know, obviously dropping No Sound Without Silence. And then, you know, we kind of joked that if the if the album does really well, of course there's going to be a big giant 2015 tour. But if it doesn't, then I guess you'll see us in a local bar near you very soon.
But not the bar you were just talking about. No,
not that bar.
Don't
No,
go
no,
back.
not that bar.
No,
Yeah.
no. This album, as you said, it's amazing. It's your 4th album in about 5 years, which is pretty good going for, you know, a big band. Normally, when you get to your stage, you can set like 4 or 5 years before albums. Normally, you can do a Coldplay, but you're not doing that, which is great. Is there anything different in the writing of the songs or the way you've made them from the first album 5 years ago? If you look back, what's different now, if there is anything different?
I think what's different is it's progression more than it's anything. We have we've never before taken on a task of touring and recording an album at the same time, and that happened this time round. We this is going to sound very posh, but it's not posh at all. We took a bus on the road with us that had a recording studio on it, which again sounds great.
Here we go.
But it was the worst. It was the worst bus you've ever seen in your life. It was, I believe, Macklemore and T-Pain had it just before us, and it definitely looked that way. So it stunk, and you know, we were able to come off stage every night and actually write and record songs. So that was an unusual type of energy that we'd never, I suppose, instilled into the music before. Literally getting on stage, playing a full set, walking off stage with all that kind of nervous energy, and taking that to this new record and trying to record stuff under that sort of environment. So that was a real first for us. But fortunately, hopefully it's something that we feel has really worked out. There's a touch of magic, I think, on this record that we were able to bottle up, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty unusual way of doing it. I mean, because wasn't it you 2 years ago when they toured America they were doing Rattle and Hum? Didn't they decide, let's do a double album because we've got some stuff, let's record it now? And they mixed some stuff that was live and some stuff that they just thought of at the time. They thought, this is fresh, we need to get it on the album. So I suppose it was a great way of doing it, that.
It is a great way because you don't get more feedback. It's instant feedback when you're standing in front of an audience, and then you kind of then leave with that energy, and you then being able to put that into some other song, for example, really does add like I said, it's a very mysterious energy. It's something you can't quantify, but there's definitely something mysterious about why it seems to work and how live it feels, or, you know, there's always those little elements. But we were just happy to waste some time, because a lot of these gigs you're kind of stuck doing nothing for hours because you're miles out in the middle of nowhere. So having the turbos there was definitely a big help for us all. Stopped us all from killing each other.
Well, listen, lads, I know you're busy. I know you've got to shoot off. You're doing a lot of promotion. The album's coming out. The single we're playing. It was our power play the other week, and it got 89%.
Wow!
Voted top tune. You've got to put that on the A-list, so it's on the A-list now.
That's brilliant.
Well, thank you so much,
Danny. That's a really good.
You're welcome. Can't wait for the next single as well. 15th of September. No Sound Without Silence, and the world tour. I know you're going to call at Morecambe. Yeah. We want to see you back in the northwest of England, because it's only just across from Dublin anyway.
Absolutely,
Not so far.
It's great to talk to you, lads. Thanks for getting
too,
up
Danny.
early
Thanks,
for me.
brother. See you soon.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.